Well, Gillian, let's get into the nuts and bolts of all of this. Would you tell us a little bit about you and your background, kind of your educational background, and what was the starting point for you here that said, I want to study anatomy and paint on horses? What catalyst drove you there? And let me also say this. So the painting on horses has become more and more common, but you've been doing this a long time. So are you the originator of this idea, or were
I
there others
cannot
that
say
were
I
at
am
it?
I can't say I'm the original because, sure cowboys and Indians were painting horses way years and years ago. But I would certainly say I am the first person that's taken it to the extent that I have. I've painted every single anatomical system on the horse, so not just the muscles and skeleton, but the digestive system, respiratory system, repro system, all of it, from in front and behind and above, as well as the side where appropriate. And so that was a project that we did for Horse Anatomy for Performance. More recently, I tried to do every single movement that the horse performs. And this was a project for Anatomy in Action, this one. And I mean, that's quite a bold statement, every single movement that the horse performs, because there are so many movements that we don't define. But yeah, certainly all the gaits, different types of jumps, all different dressage moves. And again, not just from the side, but from above. We did drone work on an aqua treadmill, work on a dry treadmill, as well as in front and behind. So that was a massive project. So for me, yeah, I think I was the first person to take it to this level. And I think there definitely has been an increase in people painting horses. I like to think slightly inspired by my work and what I do, which I see as a real compliment. But yeah, I don't think there's anyone quite as prolific in the painting as and made a business of it in quite the same way. And to go back to your first question, it was never really planned. I didn't wake up one day and say, right, I'm going to have my own business where I paint horses for a living. Although I like to think it is more than just painting horses now. But it was something that grew organically. So I've always loved horses. I didn't get my first horse until I was 18. I worked on different yards and eventing yards. I did quite a lot of riding of naughty ponies because I didn't have my own horse. I was keen to ride anything. And being young and quite small and probably slightly crazy means that people are quite keen to put you on those naughty horses. So I had quite a bit of experience riding. I'm going to say naughty at this stage because when I was that age, that would be a pet hate question, the use of the word naughty. But yes, I don't believe that horses are naughty. By the way, this is a side. I think that they react to how we train them and they react to pain. So if a horse is being perceived as naughty, is it bucking a person off because it's learned that if it bucks, the rider comes off and that's release of pressure? Or is it bucking because it's in pain? I don't truly believe that horses are vindictively naughty. Anyway, so when I was young, I got to ride quite a lot of horses that other people didn't want to ride, I should put it that way. And then when I was 18, I finally persuaded my parents to get me a horse and that this was something that I really did want to do. And I did quite a lot of eventing. I evented up to advanced level. I was trained by Caroline Moore, who's a fellow in the British Horse Society. She's a performance coach. She was absolutely fantastic. And I get helped to form a lot of my exercise and riding basics behind the scenes. So she supported me through my British Horse Society exams and helped me get up to my BHS senior coach. So she's been a big part of forming me on the riding, training and coaching side. So having competed up to advanced level eventing, also did dressage and show jumping as well, but the eventing was the big thing. Involves quite a lot of fitness training as well as skills training. And for me, that has helped to form who I am really and what Horses Inside Out is. So I've got the training and the riding background. I was always interested in the anatomy. I think I've always been interested in anatomy ever since I was little, just, fascinated by how things are made. And I've always been arty, I should say. I've always liked painting and drawing. Although I will say, I remember at school, my art teacher, we had this project when I was at school, in art class, and we had to write a word, I can't remember what the word was, using fairies, the shape of these fairies. And I remember completely random, I remember the art teacher saying to me, "Now, Gillian, fairies don't have a black outline round the outside of them." The funny thing is, now, first of all, how does she know fairies don't have a black outline round the outside? And secondly, it's funny now when I look at my art, all the skeletons have got black outlines, so that always just makes me giggle a little bit. Anyway, so the art side's always been there. The riding and the training and the coaching has been a big part of big part of my life. And I evented, so I went up to advanced when I was younger, and then with Freddie we went up to intermediate level together. And then there's the anatomy and the therapy side. So I was at university studying equine science and international business management. When I went to university, unfortunately, there were no veterinary physiotherapy degrees available. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that's the path that I would have taken. So instead, I carried on with my BHS exams. I was working, doing my degree. Before I went to university, I trained as a human sports and remedial therapist. And this was fantastic because I was able to work through university as a human therapist, treating people rather than, say, working in a pub or something like that. So by the time I got to my end of my university, I'd built up quite a clientele in and around that area. At the same time as I was at university, I trained with Mary Bromley. I don't know if you've heard of her. She was one of the original horse physiotherapists. And she was, her work has been pioneering within the equine physiotherapy world. And so I trained with her. I then went on and did a chiropractic. I say chiropractic course, it doesn't mean I'm a chiropractor, because in the UK we have different laws, and chiropractor is a protected title. So you can only call yourself a chiropractor if you're a human chiropractor. But I learned these equine chiropractic techniques, so that was added to the mix. And then basically from there on in, I just went on and did different postgraduate the equine therapy courses, physiotherapy, and lots of other courses that have added up to where I am. But it was a combination of all of this, really. I was working as a coach and a therapist on my travels. I realized that many people could benefit from a better understanding of how horses work. And so I started off just doing some workshops for my clients. And I was the British Horse Society, I was on the committee, what was it? It was marketing and public liaison officer, I think, for the BHS, just at the local committee in the charity there. And so I did a bit of work with them as well, but started off doing these series of workshops for horse owners. One of the questions that I got asked quite a lot, of course, was about the positioning of the horse's neck, or why is my horse sore in this area? And I'd be explaining about posture. And I thought there's so many things that we could do to help people, A, learn more about their horse that they're riding, and B, help them make their horses more comfortable. And so I started off doing these workshops to illustrate basic massage techniques, stretches, strengthening exercises that they could do to improve their horse's comfort. And that's basically how it started.